So, all right, looking at this trade. So obviously you can see it start from here. So you go down to the 15 minute. This is where I actually got entered here.
Mhm.
Because I literally like just got out of a meeting. And it was down here. Because my entry, I was actually planning to put it here. Okay. So because of my
Why wouldn't you enter a little farther back? Just because, like, if you're enter retest, like, why not enter near that the previous bottom, like the previous low to the left?
this year,
Yeah, that one. Why don't you enter closer to that? I mean, you did end up entering around there, but like, if your original entry was supposed to be
yeah.
higher, like, why would you not want it to be like in that area?
I mean, it's not that it was a bad thing. I was just about to say like my failure to put in a limit order, you know, up here where I generally would have. It actually ended up helping me get like a a better entry, but it doesn't mean that it was like right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you still
Because like I
like
should have
okay,
placed a
yeah.
limit order.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm gonna put the stop loss in the same place regardless because my stop loss is based off structure. So you know what is this? 21. Right. So 21.8. So it at least would have been 32 because I don't do so. Yeah, my stop loss would have still been in like the same area. Probably would have pulled it down to like 118 whole, so I still would have
Hmm.
stayed in the trade, just would have been way less risk. But I mean, besides that, it was also the fact of the main thing that made this trade worse than a trade that I even like lost this week on pound USD was the fact of the area that I'm trading in. Like I'm we pop out to the weekly. I'm anticipating an expansion up to this green line
Hmm.
because this
To
guy
complete
here,
that formation.
right, and just run out those highs. Um, but you know, that doesn't mean I need to be entering up here in areas where sellers are stepped in again. Like I think that's just kind of like it's just it's not that the trade was invalid because it wasn't. Like I went through all of my rules to check that the trade was valid, and it was valid. Because to be honest with you, as soon as I entered in an area like this, where I was talking like I'm talking about with like all this resistance, an area where sellers have stepped in again, I started to get like a little in my chest, like oh,
Hmm.
like I don't know about that, and so like
Yeah.
I made sure I went back and like checked everything, and it was good. Like it's fine, it's valid. It's just as opposed to the trade that I took from down here. That's like, even if I'm going to try to finish a move, that's probably it's a much, obviously like hindsight's 2020 is lower, right? But like, because I'm not entering in an area like right inside of this consolidation where sellers have stepped in, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a little, the
It's a
areas
bit
are
of
definitely more
higher
quality.
probability. Yeah, yeah,
Right. And then like, even this, so I took a loss on pound yen was here. Yeah. So it was like from here. Okay. It's like the same, basically the same, basically the same thing in terms of making sure that the trade was valid that I did on this pound yen that trade that I just took, right? In terms of the air, in terms of like how the market was moving, because the way that this moved down is a little bit easier for it to be valid. Like the way that this moved down into this area that I was trying to trade from, it required me to check like, validity checks, you know what I mean? Like in my
yeah.
strategy. Just the way that it moved down as opposed to this. And this was similar. So this trade over here on pound USD was a similar situation. But again, like if you just look at the area of where I'm trading in terms of pound USD, as long as it passed those validity checks, which it did, like it's again, like if you look at that other pound yen trade, like it's much more of a better, area away from all of this area over here to the left.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so it's just like, yeah, I think it was interesting that I took a win, but I was still like, this trade is kind of garbage. And I think, honestly, had I not gone through all of this bullshit in this trade, because like I was awake for all because like I entered with this was this like 11, yeah. So I entered like right at this candle's close, right? So I was, awake and able to see all of this, you know.
Hmm.
And so I'm still, I was still doing stuff on my computer, so it was like it was easy for me to just like see that, pound yen wasn't in a good area or wasn't in profit or all that kind of stuff. And like I think me thinking objectively about it, like I think if I'd entered and it just ran away, I don't know that I would have thought as objectively about it, you know. But yeah. Um yeah. All right.
I mean, it's good that you actually recognize that
Yeah.
it wasn't a good trade. You know, like
Yeah.
whether win or loss, like it wasn't a good trade. Like when
Right.
like I've definitely taken trades where I'm just like, yo, that wasn't a good trade, and those are the trades where if I lose it, I'm not even mad that I lost it. I'm mad at myself for taking it because I know it doesn't fit my
Right.
rules or like I shouldn't have been in it in the first place. But I'm not mad at the outcome of it. You know what I mean? That's just like I needed that because I'm doing shit I'm
Yeah.
not supposed to be doing. You feel me? So it's good that
Yeah.
you
And
actually recognize that.
I think another part too is like it showed me, it really confirmed me, okay, like here are things that you can look out for in terms of this is going to be a lower quality opportunity in your strategy, you
Mm,
know?
yeah.
So it's like I've never really done the changing my risk based on quality of trade, but I want to get into it. And I think that's like an easy way for me to do it, and just like keep it very simple, like and just make it really, like that
Yeah, like what
black and
area are you
white.
in? Like
Right,
are you trying to buy in an area where sellers are definitely going to
right,
try to step in, right? Like are you
right,
trying to sell in areas where buyers are definitely going to try to step in? Are you
right.
entering in an area where the market is very uncertain? You know what I mean? Like you can definitely add parameters around it to start grading those setups.
Yeah.